Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel, and let's talk about why you at finding great real estate deals. But don't get turned off by that, guys, because before the end of the video, I'm going to give you some common sense steps, and I'm going to give you 4 surefire ways to start evaluating properties, and you will do better. I know you have it in you. In this video, we're going to give you the truth about how much work goes into actually finding a good deal. What do the numbers look like? How much time do you have to put in? What's the effort on your part going to need to be? People have no idea what it takes to find a good deal when you want to be a real estate investor. This is some common sense advice. This is good advice. Don't force it. If you can't quickly figure out that something's a good deal, figure out a reason to say no. You're going to say no way more often than you're going to say yes. Again, this is common sense stuff. People, you know this deep down in your heart, but it's something that I want you to be thinking about when you're looking at real estate and you're spending all of your time, effort, and resources to find the next, the best, the greatest deal, the deal of a lifetime, the thing that's going to catapult you into becoming a great real estate investor. You're going to look at tons of real estate if you're doing it right. If you come to me and you tell me, and I hear this all the time, guys, by the way, man, Robbie, I have been looking for deals now for a month and I just can't find a deal. I don't think there aren't any good deals out there anymore. My response to that every time is, you probably don't deserve a deal. More than likely, you haven't looked at enough deals to be able to find a good deal, let alone even know what a good deal is. Because unless and until you start looking at and consuming this real estate stuff, how could you expect to know what's a good deal? You walk through it, you look at it, you hear the price, you don't know whether that's good, bad, or different. You just don't know what a good deal looks like. And so I believe if you've looked at 4 or 5 houses and you're saying, oh, this is hard, I can't find a deal, maybe this isn't cut out for you. Because guys, I've been doing this for 25 years. I probably look at more than 100 properties a month, and I'm not even trying to necessarily buy things most of the time, but we drive around at least 4 to 6 days a week looking at real estate. And as I drive by things that are for rent, I call on it. As I drive by things that are for sale, I call on it. Guys, I do this when I'm home in Orlando, Florida. I do this when I'm home in Puerto Rico. I do this when I'm on vacation in 8 countries just a month ago. Every single country that I went to, I looked at real estate and I called to find out what things were selling for. It's a little extreme, I know, to do it on your vacation, and it might upset the wife, but my wife's in real estate. Once you've been doing this for a while, you're going to know that if you can't very quickly look at something and determine if it's a deal very quickly, then it's probably not a deal. So it should be something that you can tell, that you can just feel, and that you can see. Again, it's going to take lots of practice to get there. You want to get to the point that when you drive up, you know the price, you know what the place is, you know how much the square footage is, the bedrooms and the baths, what things sell for in the neighborhood. You can look at it from the outside and go, oh my God, I think it's going to cost this amount of money to renovate it. I think that if I buy it at this, it's a good price, but here's what they're asking. And you'll know before you ever get out of the car, very likely, whether or not it's a good deal or not. I don't even like to go look at real estate if I'm trying to buy something if I don't have the proper information. So if I don't know what the price is that I can buy it for, and a basic general idea of what it's going to cost to fix it up, and then a basic general idea of what things are selling for in the neighborhood. If I can't have those 3 pieces of information, unless I'm just out looking around and making the calls I talked about earlier, I'm not really interested in going to look. So I have friends all the time that say, hey, I saw something's for sale. Do you want to go look at it with me? No, I don't want to go look at it with you. I want you to call and I want you to find out how much they're asking for it. I want you to tell me what have other things sold for in the neighborhood and tell me how much work does it need. So then we can kind of quickly determine whether or not something's a good deal. In Puerto Rico right now, many things that are on the market that are for sale are just ridiculously priced. They're not a good deal at all. And it's very easy to just say no, right? So a condo on the beach in Isla Verde that 380 days ago would have sold for $700,000, and now we hear that the sales price is $1.5 million. Well, that's a pretty easy thing to say no to, right? I know that they're just pulling a number out of the air and that it's a ridiculous price and no one's going to pay that amount of money, and so we're not going to buy it. As a real estate investor, you want to be able to say no quickly, and you want to be able to say yes on the really good deals. So most often when you're asked to look at a piece of real estate and determine whether or not it's a good deal, You're going to go through the math. You're going to go through all of the different things that we're going to talk about at the end of the video, and you're going to be able to quickly come to a no. On the occasions when you find out that you're saying yes, and for me, a guy who's been doing this for 25 years, I think that it's like 100-to-1 ratio. If I look at 100 properties, I might buy one. Maybe it's better than that in Puerto Rico. I probably only need to look at 25 to buy one, but I'm still looking at an awful lot of properties, and I'm saying no on most of them. And I want to be able to say no as fast as I can. And on the ones that I feel like I'm going to say yes to, when I say yes and I sign a contract, and this should be you as well, when you get to a yes, you go to bed with a smile on your face. So your yes should absolutely mean, without question, that you've got a solid grand slam, home run, deal of a lifetime type of deal, especially when you're starting out, and especially in a down market. We're always on this channel talking about value add real estate. We're a little bit different in that than most of the people who are out there on the interwebs there. You don't have to be a genius to figure this stuff out. Buying real estate right is super important, but buying real estate right now and then holding on to it for a long time, that's wealth building. So you want to be holding on to this real estate, and you want to be holding on to it for a long period of time. A long period of time for me is something between 5 and forever, 5 years and forever. That is what a real estate investor's dream is. You want to collect the cash flow and increase it on every single deal. It's gonna build your net worth. It's gonna build your pocketbook. And at the end of the day, you're going to be wildly successful and extremely wealthy. It's not going to happen overnight, guys. So I don't expect that you're going to be able to go out and look at 100 properties and absolutely then automatically know what a great deal is. I do think that if you go out and look at 100 houses and gather all the information and go through the steps that we're going to talk about here in a minute, you will become an expert, but you're going to make mistakes, guys, and you need to make those mistakes. On my first deal, I made a massive mistake. My wife told me, Robbie, don't buy that. It's in a terrible neighborhood. We're gonna have a hard time making money on it. So it turns out my wife was right. We didn't buy the best deal in the world on our first one. But for me, it was a semester at college. That first deal, I learned everything not to do. Don't go into the worst neighborhoods. Don't just take the first thing that someone offers up on a platter for you. I was young and I was dumb, and there was a wholesaler who talked really fast and really good and convinced me that I could do it. I'm grateful that he did, actually, because through that process, I learned how to be a real estate investor, and I learned how to become successful and make some money. And what happened was, on the next deal, the very next deal, I pressed on. I wasn't even finished with the first bad deal before I bought the second good deal. I used other people's money completely, had almost no money of mine invested in it because all my money was stuck in the bad deal. So I learned about that by getting in the bad deal. And then on the second deal, I learned about how to get people qualified for a mortgage, how to hire a surveyor, how to run title on a property. I mean, there was just so much. So these first few houses, they were massively valuable for me. The $15,000 that I made, that was great. And that was reaffirming, that was assuring, that made me feel good. But really looking back on it, those first 2 or 3 or 4 deals that I did, by the time I'd done 10 deals, I had a master's degree in buying real estate, fixing it up and selling it. And it's been like that for me for 25 years. So every 5 years, I'm doing something new. I just love this game of real estate. That's why we do this YouTube channel. Please believe we're not making money from the YouTube channel putting out this stuff, but what we're doing is we're building a community of people, like-minded real estate investors. And so if that's you, I'd love for you to send me an email at theflipflapflipperpr@gmail.com, because the way we're gonna monetize this channel is by doing deals with people. Either you're gonna come and partner with me on something that I've got and you're gonna invest in it, or I'm gonna partner with you on something that you've got, a deal of the lifetime that you've found. So again, the common sense piece is here, look at enough real estate and you're gonna be able to identify what's a great deal, and you're gonna be able to start to build that education. If you wanna get your first deal or your next deal or your first grand slam home run or your very first deal of a lifetime, you've gotta start putting the work in. And putting the work in means looking at everything. And then once you've started to look at everything and gather some information, you're gonna very quickly wanna graduate on to start making offers on most everything, right? All right, so now we've gone through the common sense stuff. Let's get to the practical. Let's talk about, what does it take, Robbie, when I'm looking at the 100 properties over the next month? What am I looking at? How do I start to gather the information, and figure out why something's a deal versus something is not a deal. And I'm going to give you 4 kind of steps that you can use, and we'll go through them. And by the end of that, look at your 100 deals and run through these steps. And guys, you're going to be way better off than you are today if this is the first time you've ever done this. Even if you've bought a property or 2 and you're not doing some of these steps, this is going to be helpful for you. So first thing that you've got to know, and I know this is simple, but it's absolutely vital. When you're looking at all of these properties, this 100 properties a month that you're going to start to look at and you're going to start to accumulate the information, how much does it cost? What's the price, right? Again, I get it. It's common sense. It's elementary, but you have to know that, because if you look at 10 things in a neighborhood, you're going to have 10 different prices, and 3 of them may be way up here and 3 of them might be way down here. That would be really good, because you'd very quickly be able to say, well, the stuff that's way up here, I just immediately say no to. And the 3 at the bottom, well, guys, there might be a deal there, right? So you're going to be able to see that, especially if you look at hundreds of properties or thousands of properties, and you collect the information and you start to learn, and you learn this stuff by just calling and looking at and figuring out what is their asking price. And so the second thing that I want to know is, in my mind, what would make these properties a good deal? So out of the 10, there are 7 that I'm going to make an offer on. What's going to make those 7 a good deal? What are the terms that would work for me? And so this is different for everyone who's watching this channel, right? So I don't want to just tell you, buy it at 65% of its value. Guys, you got to dig deeper than that. I'm asking you to become a real estate investor, and I'm telling you that you need to figure out for you what you're comfortable with. How much money, or what's your time worth? What do you need to have out of it? The next thing that I'm always trying to think about, and that you guys should be grabbing this information as you're looking at these hundreds of properties, what kind of return do I expect to get if I get it at this great price? And then I'm going to put X in it. So you've got to be able to do the math quickly in your head, or over a short period of time, because the really good deals, they don't last. And I should have said this in the common sense part of the show here, but this is just an extra that I'm going to throw in because it just popped into my head. Guys, when you start to look at hundreds of pieces of property, you're going to then be getting emails from people who are selling you properties. And every once in a while, you're going to see something that just doesn't fit and it doesn't look right. And you're going to say, that house for $100,000, that's a great deal. And I'm telling you right now, write it down, mark it down, that if you don't jump on it, and I mean jump on it right then, you get the email, within 10 minutes, you make the call and you go look at the house and you get it under contract within an hour. If you don't do that, someone else will do that. I see it all the time. You again, I've said this earlier, you've got to be able to make fast decisions. And most of the time the decision will be to say no. But sometimes when the decision needs to be yes, it's got to be rapid. You need to do it right now. You've seen 100 properties, and this is the cheapest thing you've seen in the neighborhood out of 100, right? So this is cheaper than 99 other ones. You know you need to say yes to that. You don't even have to negotiate it. Call, go see it, get it under contract. Do it fast, quick, and in a hurry. Here's number 4, and this is my very, very favorite. This is what we call ourselves. We are value add real estate investors who take something and renovate it to its highest and best use. And so this 4th one isn't going to be the easiest one. You're going to have to go through the first semester of college and make some mistakes. You're going to have to do some deals and get them under your belt before you're going to start to see it. But I look at properties and I think of not necessarily what's the price, what can I buy it for, what's my return. I start thinking about, wow, so there's an office condo there. Could I turn that office condo into an Airbnb unit? And if I did that, how much would that increase that value? So if the office condo is worth next to nothing down here, I might be able to pay full retail price for that because I have a higher and better use. Or a better description of what that could look like would be, recently we purchased a gigantic mixed-use building here in Santurce. Well, it has no revenues coming in. It's in complete distress. There's 11 apartments and there's 8,000 to 10,000 square feet of commercial space. So what's the value of a distressed 18,000 square foot building with no revenues coming in that needs everything, right? Compared to what's the value of the same 18,000 square foot building if I bring it up to its highest and best use? And then what is that highest and best use? Which kind of retail stores would work there? Or what kind of office can I put here? Or would a restaurant work in this spot? Or for me, with my building, can I put a sign on the side of the wall? Will people pay me for that? Can I grab revenue from that? Can I, on the roof, put a cell tower up so that people can get 5G or 6G or 10G or whatever the next G is out there? Those are the kind of things that I'm thinking about. What would happen if I renovate those 11 apartments? Can I reconfigure them? Can I turn the 11 apartments into 15 apartments? Could I turn them into a 25-room guest house hotel and have retail on the bottom and a guest house hotel on top? That's where my mind goes. And then it really doesn't matter what I'm paying for something. I'm creating so much value. I'm forcing the equity by doing value add. And guys, that's what we're about on this channel. Those are the kind of deals that really excite me and my team, and that's what we're constantly looking for. And so that takes a minute. You're not going to get there overnight. By using these 4 things, especially the first 3 when you're just starting out, you're going to pretty quickly figure out what a good deal looks like. And so there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to like the video.